Ugh. Hey everybody, it's the Monday stream. What's up? It's your boy, Mr. Streamer, here again. Probably gonna read you something, cause that's what I do. How's everybody doing? Meet Gongaga. I took like a 4-hour nap earlier. It felt good. Also kind of reminds me that my sleep schedule is just so fucked that I have to sleep like twice essentially in order to get my good sleep. You Gungada. Lanny, what are you saying to me? Woohoo, Monday stream time. Oh boy, time for this chamber's fucking empty, mate.
Yeah, it's almost... Guys, we're almost all caught up. We got like 5 chapters left of this shit. We're almost done.
Oh, I don't even know. Does anybody know how many more chapters there's supposed to be? Hello, Rose. Hello, Crows. Henslow, Does. Just actively, like, rotting there. Holy shirt, Rose, he lived. Yeah, I from time to time, I can pull it off. From time to time. Is it a struggle? Yes. Have I eaten dinner? No. So, you know, I'll have to do that later. Can't wait for the sequel, None of the Chamber Reloaded. Hold on a minute. Wasn't it called that before and then they changed it to the Fallen Angel? Or am I tripping?
Hello, hi Six.
I be chill, hell yeah. Mr. Streamer do be streaming. It kind of is in the title. I feel like I need to, you know what I mean? Like how you gave up yesterday. Yeah, you know, like Jaker was being quite rude, and Lanny seemed to have it. So you know what? Put him in the chair. I get to kick back and play Sudoku for like half an hour to an hour. They do my job for me. You know, it's like if you were at your job, right? And your coworker literally came over and just said, like, was basically doing your shift for you. Would you not just like kick back and say, all right, sure, dog, if that's how you want to play it? Guess who's back? I'm gonna assume it's you, Victor. What's been messing with your sleep? A couple things. A couple people know. Generally though, it's just how my body like doesn't want to, for whatever reason, stay asleep for 8 hours. So, oopsies. What's been messing with your sleep? Us. Nah, it's not you guys. Ever since I pulled my stream time back 2 hours, it's easier to, you know, be able to, if I wanted to at least, get to sleep at a certain time. I think it is just wanting to hang out with the bros though, you know what I mean? Like, I get off stream at like fucking midnight most of the time. If I start on time, that is. If I don't, it's even later. And if I want to hang out for like 3 hours, that throws me straight to 3 a.m. Which, you know. What's for dinner? Don't know. Had a Totino's for lunch, so I don't think I want to... Okay, I probably shouldn't have another pizza for dinner, but... Part of me always could just order up a fucking calzone and call it a day. I'll just have to feel it out, see what I'm feeling after. From what I heard, 3. Okay. I wonder when the final chapters are going to come out for None in the Chamber. Alright, let me put it this way. If None in the Chamber finishes by Christmas, I will try my damnedest to have the supercut for None in the Chamber out by Christmas. That will be my goal if that happens. Sorry, I had missed last stream, had surgery on my arm. All good, dog. Nobody's under any obligation to be here, except like Jake. But that's like only on the creator spotlights. spotlights. Kills Lanny with a fucking hammer. Evening, everyone. Hey, Gramps. 5. Mr. Streamer, I want to be a nurse. I don't trust my coworkers that aren't my CNAs to help my patient. Okay, fair enough. I'm just saying. Lanny and Jake had it there. They didn't need me, so I just fucking parked my ass in a chair and pulled out a magazine, essentially. And then Jake would just throw like mean words my way. Be like, "Fuck face over there. He doesn't want to put up something on the screen because he's an asshole." And then there was one point where I messaged in the recording room, like, "Hey, if Jake sends me anything, I'll throw it up on the screen real quick." And he said, no, he's got to ask me directly. I'm like, and looked right back to my Sudoku puzzle. Like, yeah, fucking right. You ever thought of doing the supercut in chunks, like part 1, 2, etc.? Could even name an arcs or something. Maybe. It would probably be more palatable, given that. So I think what I'll do first is I'll cut down all this stuff and just see how much time I'm working with. Because we already know it's over 24 hours worth of just straight fucking reading. So I'm probably gonna need to. The chamber's like 100 hours by now. Really fucking is, dog. It's ridiculous. I like flipping a coin to dictate whether or not Mr. Streamer streams. I like flipping coins. That's why I have a coin in my wallet, the lucky coin. I'm sure everybody knows by now, but my lucky quarter is in my wallet all the time in case I have to make a 50-50 decision. Like, whenever I have to go out and eat with somebody, and we give like 2 places, and I ask the other person, "Hey, does any of these places sound good to you?" And they're like, "I'm okay with whatever. What do you want?" And I'm like, "Alright, fuck you. Flip the coin." Sleep. Want some painkillers? These fuckers are stronger than my dad after downing a bottle of whiskey. Nah, I'm good. I don't need opiates. Maybe like a thing of some fucking melatonin gummies though. I'm honestly thinking I might take like a couple of those next time I'm trying to get like some sleep, see if they help me stay asleep a bit longer. If not, I can always bring it up with the doctor whenever I get my checkup that I haven't gotten in like 4 years. Smiles. How many chapters are there? Let me peep the horror real quick. Currently there are 34 chapters. So we're looking sub 40, I think, when it finishes, from what I've heard here. Super gonna be like 20 hours. No, way more than that. I just got bought by Keemstar. I'm now his employee. No idea how to feel. We'll see after getting that acquisitions bonus. Well, Kev, if the big money is there, get that bag, brother. Get that bag. I think I'm gonna pass the fuck out right now. Can't even spell. Couldn't spell more. Well, I mean, hey, if you're tired, go get some sleep. Don't be like me, pushing yourself to stay awake. Update on my coworker and stuff. Told my coworker about what I'm writing in Snoot, and they were the most unsurprised I've seen a person I've seen ever. They're just like, "Oh yeah, tracks." Mr. Streamer, you just described the usual relationship between CNAs and lazy nurses. Smiles, I think? Howdy, Mr. Peanuts, and by peanuts, I mean penis. I look at the camera. Just got back from watching my 25 Slay the Princess playthrough. 25th Slay the Princess playthrough. I'll be playing that one of these days, I promise. My lucky coin is the one you get on the Shining tour over in Colorado. Yeah, I've been to Colorado. Once, I think. I think I smoked weed there. Hey Oma, there's a mod going around where the Snoot Crew meets the GVH gang. It's actually a good mod. What is it? When Worlds Collide or some shit? I think I saw something about that on my recommended page. That's literally me unless you say Arby's. What do you mean? Lanny, I'm not tracking the conversation. I've said this before. Anytime I say something on stream, it literally leaves my brain the moment I've said it. I have so much going on. Are you telling me that When Worlds Collide is creator exclusive and they won't let me experience it myself? Is it? Is there no download link anywhere? Been looking for the download link everywhere. Huh. Well, I have, like, all I know is that I saw it. Like, I haven't seen, like, a link to a mod or anything. Third time's the charm, and hopefully a third Spotlight Part 2 isn't going to be a disaster. I wouldn't even say that, like, Wax's Part 2 was a disaster. It was just a bit of a mess is all. But that's just how it is. Nothing's gonna top the fucking Crow Part 2, man. Like, nobody... I don't think we're gonna have a guest that says, I'm gonna go eat dinner. And just up and leave. I think the thing with Part 2 streams is, like, my fucking mojo gets kind of thrown off a little bit, where I'm like, oh, man, I gotta, like, refocus. Because it's a case where... Alright, so... A Spotlight runs about 3 hours. 3 to 4 hours. I mean, we've had some longer ones, right? And it's kind of started averaging longer and longer as we go. But that's usually like the length of time I stream. If we have to do a part 2, it starts to look like you're doing 2 sub 2 hour streams, right? And that's not something that, like, I tend to do. I try to stream for at least 2 hours. So then I'm in this interesting place where I have to, like, pad it even more than I normally would with the app, which kind of makes it a bit more difficult, if that makes sense. So, like, whenever we're doing a part 2, I have to let the chaos fester some in order for us to hit, like, the length of a stream I tend to want to hit, right? While also still trying to get, like, the questions that I want thrown out there. I don't know. That's a little bit of, like, I guess, behind the scenes logic for why the part 2s are always, like, fucking scuffy wuffy. Tell the senator on YouTube that I am not in this snoot club and therefore do not have access to the link. Well, there you go. If I end up doing a video on it or something, I'm sure I'll put the link in the video description. I keep a wheel spinner app on my phone to decide what game to play. If I'm undecided, not a bad idea. Fuck sleep, I've been sleeping for 2 days now. Doobie? Days mean nothing in the maw of forever. Yeah, but the maw of forever is too incomprehensibly wide for me, so therefore I will measure in my days. Ugh. Someone likes working on the shadows. Coworker officially knows me too well. Messed with you enough. Have a fun reading stream. Don't sleep this time, loser. Lanny always slings such mean words my way, like loser and fatty and another F word that I probably shouldn't say on stream. Smiles. Big smiles from Ace. Yeah, looks like it's in the Snoot Club. I have the link is okay to drop in the chat. As long as fucking Automod doesn't shoot you. I don't remember if Automod shoots fucking links. You can give it a crack though. I know watching Klaus and Huma reading comments while high as balls on painkillers on my 2 can of Pepsi and peanuts is the way I would spend my life, and I'm happy with that. Very, very good. Very good. Well, I mean, good that you're happy with it. How is Lanny so mean yet so passive at the same time? It's because he's selectively mean, you see. When he looks at me, he sees fake father and decides to point at me and say evil things. But when he sees you, Vice, he says, ah, art friend, smile. and then he's just a little quirky. He's become comfortable, you see, with assaulting me, as I have become comfortable with jumping him. That is simply the relationship we have at this point. Coke is better than Pepsi. I mean, yeah, I'll agree with that. I like Coke. Coca-Cola, not cocaine. What the fuck did Lanny mean by this? He just DM'd me. What are you even saying to me? Twitch doesn't ban links, unlike YouTube. Yeah, if you drop it in the Discord too, that's fine. Sorry about shooing you from Echo. You must remain pure. Oh, no, it's fine. I didn't want to spoil myself anyway, so when I saw you guys are doing that, I was like, okay, cool. I shall slay you, Coke heretic, in the name of God's beverage pilk. A comment I would have come to expect from Arthur Zamoto kitten wife. Boy wife, sorry. There's a very big distinction between those two. Milk and Pepsi, God's gift to children. I don't think I've ever tried Pilk, and I don't think I ever will, if I'm completely honest. Lanny ruined my harvest and cursed my cows. He does that from time to time. Hey, Slavemoto, can you at least pay me in jelly beans? Sarge told me you wanted to make me a slave for your content. At least pay me in jelly beans. Neolithic ancient scarab whore. Put this up on stream now. Like, now see you freaks out there burn through the mod. Have fun, urinals. Like how Pints is quoting Slay the Princess, but I know that Humo will never get to it until next Halloween. Okay. Let me... Would you like something to show to spite Lanny? Always. Let me show you guys something. Cause I feel like I need to make this so fucking clear. I like playing video games on stream. Really and truly, I do. But I need you to understand. God, do I need you to understand. This is what the schedule looks like most of the time. So like, let's take 1 week. Let's go fucking November 11th to the 17th, right? For example, here, we have fic reading. None in the Chamber. That's today. Tomorrow is my off day because I watch stuff with my buddies. Wednesday and Thursday are 2 days where I can do whatever I want. I can play video games. Fridays are the community night where I play with you guys. Saturdays are the creator spotlights, which is this week going to be moved to Sunday. I need to fill that in here, meaning that Sunday and Saturday are swapped. Now, usually Sunday is either me reading or doing nothing. I can make it so that Sunday is also me playing video games, but at the same time, I also need to start reading the fucking bounties for the week at some point. At least I'd like to. So that's kind of like what Sunday is, and then we wrap back to Monday. So I've got like 2 days for video games during the week. If we are charitable and say that I'm streaming every single week and I never miss a Wednesday or a Thursday, that's 102 game streams a year, which means anything that runs longer than one stream crushes my balls a little bit, unfortunately. One day, maybe I'll figure it out, because I've told this to some people. I know Scrag has mentioned potentially being willing to help with like editing some stuff. If that were the case, I might be able to do some stuff offline and have that posted somewhere. Bible verse of the day from Big Shifter. Day 2, or 2 Corinthians 12:10. That is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weakness, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong. Wow, they really just said no. I'm built diff. Even years mean nothing to Maul forever. There he is, look at him go. Hate to say it, but I have made Pilk and it's pretty good. I mean, I throw up a bunch after, but it's still better than Cherry Coke. Well, there you go. Why is there a cockroach running on screen? I don't know, Lanny wanted it. And he was being very demanding today. To be real, I tried Slay the Princess and completely dropped it at the hour mark. Don't like it. That's how it is sometimes. I'm gonna get you, I think. Ain't got no writing bounties in it. One day. Mr. Worker. Can I throw out the streaming's hard card? Is that allowed? Nah, streaming ain't hard. It's me literally just turning on fucking OBS and yapping into the void. It's real simple. What is hard is getting everything done. Christ, is there so much to fucking do and so little time to do it? I would need to like obliterate my job and be able to like substitute more streams. You get what I mean? Become a 7-hour streamer and all that shit. And then burn out within like 3 months or something. Ain't got no bonka in it. Taskbar reveal? Yeah, my taskbar's there most of the time, dick nuts. None in the chamber has consumed all. Well, here, let me check something real quick. I know we've checked it in the past, but Lord knows my ass ain't gonna remember it. Let's see. NITC. When was the first None in the Chamber? I read, you listen. Show all. Fuck me. None in the Chamber has been going since fucking May. Now, to be fair to myself, I did start reading Punch Drunk in the middle. Oh, I got a message from Vice. Hold up. Lanny told me to put this on screen. Okay, hold up. I gotta put this up on screen first. Here. There you go. Beautiful. All right, let me get up on screen here what Vi sent me. I don't even know what I'm about to look at. I'm just gonna download it, put it up, and we're gonna react to it together. All right. Hope you guys are ready. Let me pause the music. Let me clear off the screen a little bit here. Everybody move. Here we go. One more for good measure. Yeah, that's good shit. That's the good shit. Thank you, Vice. That'll put little idiot in his fucking place. Wait, no, Don Ben. There we go. Alright, let's catch up with chat real quick. Lanny, what if I DM'd Huma to put the censored condensed milk? I almost said censored milk. Coke drugas is less than Coke drink is less than cocaine is less than cocainer. True. Cocainer stay on top. Brazil numero uno. Well, please change the screen. I can't stop laughing and it hurts. No. Telling Lanny to think fast is cruel and unusual punishment. His brain already, or his fingers already moved too fast for his brain. Maybe if he thought faster, he'd catch up and he wouldn't say stupid shit. And mistype all the time. Cherry Coke is great. Gonna have to disagree with you there, feller. Need to catch up on last week's VOD. Never mind, bye. See you later, Ken. To quote the ever-infamous Sonic.exe, so many shows to play with, such little time, wouldn't you agree? Crushes Sonic.exe with my big hand. Still haven't finished either, sigh. Lanny, if I sat you down and said, read this entire fucking fanfic on stream, you'd cry. You would start crying. What's the next fic on the bracket? Something? Something. Definitely something. Something shorter. I'm thinking something that's less than 100,000 words. If I'm completely honest. Then the chamber, more like fucking shitloads goddamn in the chamber. Yeah, real. Never see Punch Drunk again. Yeah, Jake, hey guys, I'm Jake's official spokesman. He's dropped Punch Drunk Gator. He's never working on it again. It's over. You take what you've got and you should walk away. Sorry, it's done. For all bits, or for all legal purposes, that is a joke. I do not represent Punch Drunk Gator, nor do I represent Jake Parade. If you like DM him telling him that I have said this, I'll find you. I'll kill you. That wouldn't have happened if you played Snoot Fiction first, Mr. Streamer. Quiet you! Squints. What happened to Punch Drunk? Ran out of chapters. There's like one chapter left and I kind of want to have another chapter before I do the stream. Plus I want to like just fucking grind out them in the chamber at this point. I want to get all of it done. It's good that Jake stopped so that way I could like just shift my focus purely on in the chamber. So does, if you know what I mean. I don't know what it said, so to speak. Was that a can of condensed milk? Yes. Perish. I'm going to hurt you, I think. Pulls up my DMs with Lanny. I'm going to counter hurt you, I think. You know what? For all the shit you guys give me about being late to stream and taking the occasional day off, I'm here, motherfucker. Where's Jake? Where's my Punch Drunk Gator? Hit with Texas. It ain't even that funny. These pills are fucking with me. Pills tend to do that. What up? Drove 6 hours. Now I'm at the beach. You know how it is. Just yapping before we read a fucking chapter of None into Chamber. Hope the beach is fun. I think my hand convulsed. It does at times. Woke up to that horrible thing of Coke milk. Mr. Streamer has them big yowie hands. They're easier for crushing, you see. It's definitely a fic. And then Darrow with the... Give Art a treat. Read Bowling for Mia. If I start trying to appease the fucking Mia posters, they're gonna see me as like their messiah. When in reality, they should be looking to Bowie. Apparently that dude's a fucking Mia poster. Unfortunate as it is. That wasn't meant for you, fatty, but I will get you. And then he sent me Wagugas Jr. Do you guys want to see Wagugas Jr.? Would you guys like to see Wagugas Jr.? Chat, press 1 if you want to see Wagugas. Ain't got no chapters in it. Is that a death threat? Is that death threat a joke? Probably. But do you represent a gator? I wish. How many ones do we got? Alright, there's 2 1s and 2, so I guess that means we show Wagugas. There you go. For you all, Wagugas Jr. Wagugas Jr. Wagugas Jr. Mr. Sherman, can you do Fang voice? It's just my brain. You might get it in the chapter tonight. Otherwise, go back a stream. And before Jake 100% uses the statement by Humo as a way to never work on Punch Drunk Gator ever again. Well, you know what that would mean? That would mean I can go ahead and like fucking smash cut the supercut. And then I'd be done. I could wash my hands. Mr. John Punch Drunk. None in the Chamber is like that one slog of a gauntlet in a dungeon that you still play through because even if it takes forever, it's fun and engaging. Exactly. I just feel bad because I know all of the other fucking fanfics are like, they're just dying out here. They're asking, they look at me and they say, God, please help me. God, read me. And I say, I'm sorry, my son. None in the Chamber. And then I pull out my fucking 12 gauge and shoot it. Fucked up as it is, of course. Where is Punch Drunk Gator Jake? I don't know. I'm gonna send Jake a DM and just say hi. Hi, Damien, hi. No, actually, just Damien, hi. I'm not gonna say anything else. I'm here. That's a weird thing to say in a pre-recorded stream. Yeah, this is all pre-recorded. God, I wish it were pre-recorded. I could be like fucking... I could be off playing video games right now otherwise. Or, I don't know, eating dinner. That one's also pretty big. You're the Hello Rose. Mia Monday consumes all. I am not. Not to mention bowling for Mia is in Spanish. Well, I have enough experience from None in the Chamber. I could probably wing it. Killer Queen when? Can you give Puppet Jake the piss undershirt? You gotta take that up with our art friend, Vice. Wagugas Jr. Or Waguis Jr. There he be. Waguis. It doesn't feel right without shitty green screen car crash on it. Or the helicopter crashing. Have no idea what Punch Drunk Gator is, so I'm out of the loop. What did he mean piss undershirt? You see the blue undershirt under his Hawaiian? I think he wants that piss colored. Like, hold up. Hold up. I got this. Let me help with the artist rendition. Wait, no, that's the wrong thing. Hold up. Chroma key. Is that the one I want? Oh wow, evil fucked up Jake. Can you guys see that when I'm doing that? Ooh, you know what? The black and orange is pretty good, though. I kind of like the black and orange. but he can keep the green and orange. What the fuck is the thing I'm looking for? Color correction. How about that? Ah, this is correct. All right, hue shift. Can we get the piss undershirt? No, it's not gonna. Oh, wait. Okay, maybe that, and then we change some contrast. Up the contrast. Lower the brightness. Saturate it. There we go. Piss undershirt. Wait. Wait, Jake, but boyfriend from Friday Night Funkin'. Wait. Hold up. I need my snipping tool. Now I'm sending this to Jake. FNFBF Jake real. All right, we can take that off. We can revert him back to his original form. That sounds like some kind of monster feather. Punch Drunk Gator is the fic that Jake writes, where he has replaced Inko with his OC Dorian. Default. And then just how the repercussions of such an action in Wani. Batman, where's my Punch Drunk? When I'm in the chamber in Punch Drunk End, I'm going to be sad. They're what introduced me to Humo. Hey, buddy, puts hand on your shoulder. Don't worry, we're going to be reading more shit. It'll be all good. So in the chamber is the God King, or is the God Pantheon from Hollow Knight? Yeah. If you start on Bad Apple, can we start the Yap with another 30-minute Apple ASMR? Yeah, we could do that. I think that's in the cards. Honestly, I think it's good that it's taking this long for another chamber because it stalls for the other fix to gain more chapters. Yeah, we're gonna have a fucking... we're gonna have a ton of like different fix to work through. It'll be epic, guys. I have a stream that people switch out who's reading to knock out as many fixes as possible. You mean like a marathon where I just leave stream up for like 24 hours and we just have a bunch of people coming into the recording room to read the chapters? Wouldn't that be something? Jake Puppet evaporates like Kaiba. Black and orange is Garbo. Lanny walks over to your DM. Black and orange, cool. Sad face. Bro gave him the dress Rosa Luffy fit. Yo, Jake finally got drip. Maybe now Skiz will notice. Piss Parade. He's that toothpaste hair creature now. Jake is pissed. Bo beep bo. Or sorry, it would be more like Got a yippee. Yeah, oh dear lord. I hope the next fic is Echoes of Regret. I don't know what the next fic will be. I'll leave it up to like a fucking vote, I'm sure. Ugh. How is it already like 45 minutes into stream, dog? These yaps go quick. Quicker than one might realize. It do be kind of crazy. Piss Jane Parade. Is Jane like the female Jake? I forget the lore. Still patiently await for a Tracy fic. How many of those are there? I know there's a couple at this point. I just went to the pit and I see Lanny calling Vise out. Also, Vise, 11 days, huh? I'm very keen to see what the fuck happens in 11 days. Uh-oh, evil. Nah, it's Jackie Parade. 11 days, I'm gonna cash in my Humo coin. Uh-oh. Wait, let me let me check the ledger real quick. Does he have a Humo coin? Oh fuck, he does have a Humo coin. Shit! Broken Wings Part 2, La Banda Tendency. Could you imagine we get a fucking sequel to Broken Wings and it's like, streamer tugs on your arm, you must read now. I do want to back to Wani's, so I'd like to hear you read Tory Game, though that's not done yet. Wait, isn't Tory Game Inko and Snoot, or am I thinking of a different one? About a handful of them last time I checked. Oh, Tracy Fix? Yes. Okay. I mean, I still gotta do Inko Noted Love is Colorblind at some point, so there's that one as well. I just ran my hand through my hair and I realized because I was napping I didn't fucking comb it. There's a bunch of tangles. Shit sucks, dog. Having long hair is a bastard at times. Other times it's badass. Struggling to not make weird side stories with the characters I made, even though it wouldn't make sense since I've only posted chapter 1, and it would definitely spoil stuff if I did. I mean, you can always just jot the ideas down later and treat them like... I know there's been at least one fic that's had like bonus chapters. Do something like that. I remember there was an internet radio I used to listen to back in the day. You could ask for a reservation, you would have an hour to yourself being a DJ on a small radio. Having a 24-hour fic marathon with people in the Discord like that would be something. Maybe I could get that organized. It would be cool, I think. As long as, I would need people, I don't know, maybe we would have to have, yeah, we'd have to have people sign up for it, get their time slot, what they want to read, and then I would just, like, kick back. I could probably do that. I could put out like a poll on that and see if that's something that people would want. If so, maybe we'll do it for like, I don't know, some kind of holiday thing. Maybe not Christmas, maybe Thanksgiving. Maybe we'll just do like a Thanksgiving readathon. That doesn't give me a lot of time to plan for it, but maybe. I meant Inko, though I want to kiss that snoot is pretty good. Okay, gotcha. A lot of people want Mr. Streamer to read their favorites. True as fuck, dog. You can get through Love's Colorblind in 2 or 3 streams, only 10 chapters. That's the thing I'm looking forward to. If I'm 100% honest, like I've said, I like None in the Chamber, but the fact that I'm gonna be able to, I don't know, finish a fic within a month will be fucking nice. Cause I mean, shit, when was the last master cut I had? Fucking forever ago, right? If I'm correct. Yeah, May. We're in fucking November. I want to have another master cut. The solace that I do have is that this is like the final boss of Snoot fanfics as far as I'm concerned. Once I've beaten this, I can beat them all. Realistic Inko and Snoot, he would just fold the second the first conflict happens. No. Let's start logical 12 hours maybe? No, we go straight to illogical. Community reading, Lanny has to be Ben. That'd be cool to have everyone read different characters and narrate. I would fucking slap. It'd make things easier for me, that's for sure. I'm still waiting to see how long that master cut is. If we're generous and say like half of the stream of all of these None in the Chamber readings is None in the Chamber, you're looking at like 60 plus hours, I think. Still waiting to see. Yeah. None in the Chamber is almost as long as the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy by word count. Don't ask me to read the Lord of the Rings trilogy, guys. I'm not gonna do it. Please don't. I can't have another one of these. Godspeed to the chosen one who finishes None in the Chamber supercut with no sleep. Went straight for Melania with all these Erdtree Guardians about. You know, I gotta go back and see who all said that I should read None in the Chamber. I need to have some fucking names. That way I know who cursed me. I remember people typing, it'll only take a few streams, don't worry, Humo, for None in the Chamber. They were fucking liars! What are we? Some kind of snoot game? Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Let me try that again. What are we? Some kind of snoot game? There we go. That was the vibes. Don't fucking -2 me, Artiv. Bastard. 60 plus hours? Fuck me. Not like I'll have plans for the next month and a half. Hey, I've had plans for the last 6 months, dog, so you know, fucking is what it is. Might just straight up write the side stories, where just goes full on nuts, socio mode. Since it'll show some other traits he has, because it'll literally never come in the story legit ever. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can always, like, have side stuff or, like, extras. A day of short one-shots would be fun to listen to. We did that before at one point. In the long distant past. Womp womp. Krill yourself. Alright guys, you know what? I think it's time. We've yapped enough. Let's go ahead and get this fucking reading going, shall we? You guys get 1 chapter tonight. Ugh. Alright. Let me take a look here. Let me get this on the fucking screen. Get out of the way. Oh wait, hold up a sec. Before I get everybody out of the way, I actually gotta fucking meander my ass over to the desktop fang. Get that up real quick. Because y'all love your little desktop fang at the bottom left. And long distant past of 2024. Okay, and it's up on screen. Tag that over there. Alright, start cleaning all these bastards off my fucking screen. Be gone, cretins. And display capture. There we go. Alright, so let's do what we like to do here. So for those of you who are unaware, we often take a look at the fucking scroll bar here and see how small it is to kind of gauge how long this chapter is going to be. So yeah, this is so if I use my finger here, I use my finger. Actually, you know, it's better to use it on this one. There we go. So I put my finger there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, bud. Oh yeah, bud. This one's gonna be shorter. We might get this one done in like an hour 20. Aren't you guys excited? About the fact that it's just Snoot Game Banana was replaced with Josuke. Josuke with the funny hair. I don't know if you use Firefox, but its reader view will tell you an easy estimated reading time on any text page. Might need to look into that at some point because I use Google A Chrome, unfortunately. Had an idea of like a game horror. I had the idea of horror-like game or video of Winnie Snoot, like analog horror type. Well, by all means, go for it. On a brighter side, former chapters till you're caught up. Yeah, we getting there, dog. We getting there. But looking back at it, or looking at it here, oh hey, Echoes of Regret mentioned. Next chapter is going to be longer. So you're definitely only getting one fucking chapter a night. All right. Let's go ahead and get this cracking, shall we? Do I have a DM? I do have a DM. Guys. Actually, you know what? No. That one gets saved for later. All I have to say is thank you, Vice. Later, Sierra. Okay. Just focusing up a little bit here. Let me get comfortable. I'm sitting cross-legged, and I know that I'm going to want to lean back just a little bit here. Okay. Here we go, fellas. If you remember correctly, last chapter was the birth of Amber. That was the big thing we got completed at the end. It also looks like Anon and Fang are on much better terms at this point. So, that's where we left off last chapter. We're going into chapter 30. So, get your drinks, get kicked back, do whatever you need to do to get comfortable, because we're going to be here for at least an hour, I think. Here we go. Chapter 30. Pointing upward. When you hit the bottom, the only way for you to go is up. There's something about sitting alone in a dark room which really helps me think. No distraction, no diversions, only me, my bed, and my own thoughts. I look over towards the corner of the room. It's empty. I remember that day when I laid her in the crib, as if it happened yesterday. It was the day I came back from the hospital with her. The whole family gathered on the porch. Sophia, Rosa, Philippe, and the others. They crowded around me, talking over one another, welcoming her into our family. I smirked. Rosa took her from me as soon as she saw her, her eyes gleaming with happiness and delight. Amber looked like my stepsister in the eyes and smiled back at her, which made Rosa laugh so loudly and so happily that I couldn't help but laugh along with her. After that day, time zoomed by, with days crowding one atop the other, an indistinct smear of memories, a pleasant dream, a paradise. One warm, sunny day in April, a month after Amber was born, I watched Sophia across the yard as she sat on the porch, rocking her in her arms, singing to her in a low voice. I stopped and listened in, losing myself in the slow, melancholic melody, the softness of her voice, and the lyrics telling of a beautiful country far away. Simone called out to me and pulled me out of my daydream and got me back to work. Over the course of that day, I saw Marisa taking Amber from Sophia and walking around with her, showing her the farm. My little girl was way too young to understand what was being said to her, I'm afraid, but still, she watched everything with great interest and curiosity. Finally, Marisa came over to me, while I was in the middle of watering the trees. I paused and looked over at them. Marisa lifted Amber and showed me to her.
And here's your papa, Amber. Look how busy he is.
Amber immediately extended her arms towards me. What choice did I have? I put the hose away and took my baby daughter into my arms. She grabbed my finger with her tiny hand and looked at me with such trust and happiness that I could only smile, finding it hard to believe how lucky I was to have her. Hey, Amby. I booped her snout. She blinked. Now is she? I hope she's not giving you too much trouble. Marisa laughed.
No, Anon. No pasa nada.
She laughed.
She's a little angel.
Good. I looked at Amber. Now don't give Grandma trouble, you hear? I grinned and gently gave her back to Marisa. I went back to work. In the evening, I played the guitar for her. Never failed to calm her down and put her to sleep. She listened to me play for a long while, watching me with glittering eyes. Finally, she fell asleep and slept through the whole night. Witness the power of music. The other day I distinctly remember from April was going to White Wings Hospital, telling Lucy about her daughter, her exploits, and little adventures around the farmstead. Lucy listened to me hungrily, practically drinking the words off my lips. Till the day I die, I will not forget the light in her eyes and the expression of pride and happiness on her face that day. Then came May. And with May came memories of that godforsaken Monday. The anniversary of the shooting creeped up on me unnoticed, and before I knew what was what, I'd laid in bed the evening before that ill-fated anniversary, thinking about what flowers I should put on Nazar's grave when I go there with Samantha. I called her the day before. I remember very distinctly that it was afternoon, a very sunny, warm day. I was sitting on the living room floor with Amber. "How are you doing, Mrs. Murphy?" I asked. "Are you holding on all right?"
Yes, she told me. I found new friends, and they're very supportive of me. She paused. Why are you calling?
"Will you be visiting his..." I trailed off, suddenly finding that I had no guts to finish the sentence. I didn't have to. She understood my meaning immediately.
Yes, would you like to come with me?
"Yes, Mrs. Murphy. I wanted to do it since that day." I promised myself to apologize to him, and she interrupted me in a trembling voice.
You're not the only person responsible for what happened. Stop blaming yourself, dear.
"Miss Murphy, I paused. How should I put it? Group responsibility does apply here. We're all in part responsible for that tragedy. Me, Reed, Trish.
You're forgetting someone.
There was a very long moment of quite a tense silence from her side, broken up by her clearing her throat and taking a short, tense breath, which was then followed by another bout of silent treatment. I do have a knack for making people uneasy. Real talent.
Anon, it's all right,
she said.
I know my part in making...
Another pause. A very brief one.
In making her the way she turned out.
I opened my mouth to try and defend Lucy, to tell Samantha that she's judging her own daughter too harshly, but after a moment's consideration, I closed it. She's right. Lucy hurt many people, myself included. She hurt me in an awful way. I swallowed with some difficulty. "Well, what time are you going to the graveyard?"
Around 3 in the afternoon, after I'm done with work,
she told me.
I'll pick you up around 4.
Sounds good to me. There was another long bout of silence, as tense as its forebears. My heart smacked against my ribs quite hard at that moment, and my head was buzzing with all manner of what I could or should have said. In the end, it wasn't me who broke that silence. That fell to her again.
Did she give birth?
She asked. I was completely taken by surprise with this question. For a moment, I felt as if I had something in my throat. Any attempt at speaking was met with a disastrous failure. I cleared my throat once, twice, swallowed to get rid of the knot in my windpipe, and finally coughed up a few words. Yes, she did, Miss Murphy, back in March. I remember rubbing my nose for almost a minute until she continued the conversation. I remember it turning quite red and a bit sore from all the attention it received.
Is the baby healthy?
Yeah, she's in perfect shape, Miss Murphy. She's a little angel. I smiled to myself, as at that moment I was watching over my little girl as she crawled around on the floor. Samantha paused.
I'm glad to hear it.
Do you think you could...
I don't know. Maybe, and that's a big maybe, Anon. I still can't stop thinking about what she did. All of it.
I understand. If you'd like to visit us, call me. She swallowed, audibly.
dear. Good day.
Good day, Miss Murphy. She hung up. I was left with my own thoughts, and they were anything but pleasant. Didn't have much time to brood over this conversation as Rosa came in with a bouquet of flowers. She stopped in the doorway, and upon noticing my gloomy mood, she put it down on the table and walked up to me.
What's wrong, Anon?
I told her. She was very moved, even teared up a little.
I'll prepare bouquets for her graves, she told me. No lo menciones.
She waved me away when I tried to ask for the price. Thanks, sis. I stood up. The memory of that day is enough to make my hand shake a little, even though so much time had passed since then. I grabbed my smokes and head downstairs, then sit down on the porch and light one up, rubbing my forehead and mulling over what transpired. It wasn't a pleasant day, made much worse by coming across someone I wished we hadn't met. May 25th, year 201M, 2021 BC. It was a fine, warm day. Remember laying in bed early in the morning, thinking about the upcoming meeting with the fruits of my labors. 2 dead people. 2 teenagers who lost their lives because of me. Because I couldn't do better. I changed, sure. I was a better person by that point, but what did it matter? I couldn't change the past, undo such damage. It was too late for that. All I could do was live on. Be better. Marisa second-guessed me ever since I told her about my plans. She told me that I should rethink it, that I'm not healthy enough in mind and spirit to do what I plan to do. I didn't listen. I had to go to that graveyard. Lord Nazar Naomi wouldn't leave me alone. I remember quite distinctly standing in front of the farm gate, holding the bouquets Rosa had made. They were beautiful. I'm not a florist, so I didn't know what flowers were in those bouquets, but still, the combination of red, gray, blue, and white was really pretty. Rosa cried a little when she gave me those bouquets.
Miss Samantha told me that these flowers were her favorite flowers.
She pointed out the blue ones. When did she...
One day when I was visiting her house to help her in the garden, she told me. You should visit her more often, Anon.
She poked me on the chest with her claw. I will. I assured her. Work, Amber, therapy. I don't have much time to spare. She patted my arm and hugged me. What did I do to deserve such a good sister? Samantha's car coming to a halt in front of me brought me out of my reverie. I put the bouquets in the back, and as soon as I got my ass in the passenger seat, she drove off. We spoke very little on our way there. From what I remember, it was all small talk, talking about the weather and other such minute crap. It was only when I saw the graveyard looming at the end of the avenue, when the tribulations I kept in check up until the moment reared their ugly heads. I remember distinctly, very much so, the moment I saw the wall. My stomach clenched, as if a large fist closed around it. My mouth turned dry within a blink of an eye, and my heart started pounding against my chest, while my thoughts raced. I somehow kept my cool, though, hiding my tribulations behind a stone face.
Are you alright, Anon?
Yeah, I'm fine, I assured her. She didn't look convinced, but didn't say anything. And soon, we were walking towards the gate. I glanced at her from time to time. She was very quiet, very solemn, very calm. She walked stiffly, with her back and neck rigid, eyes put forward, clutching the grave bouquet in her hand. I had to force my legs to move, which made each step a struggle, but just like with my face, I managed to come off as cool and composed. What stuck in my memory from the interval between leaving the car and arriving at the gate were the bouquets I held in my arms. They brushed against my chin. Their smells combined into a mixture which made me a bit lightheaded. To this day, I'm not sure what made me so nervous that day. Was it the smell? Was it the prospect of seeing Nazar's grave with my own eyes? Or maybe it was the fear of freaking out, making a fool of myself. In hindsight, it probably was a combination of the three. We entered the graveyard. It was nearly empty, with only a couple dinos and humans spread around the grounds, tending to the graves, praying, or lighting up grave candles. No one bothered us as we walked by, but I caught a couple glares from some people, aimed at Samantha, who completely ignored them. There's a tree on that graveyard where they buried Nazar, overlooking a hill, at the bottom of which his grave sits. We were approaching that tree, and we're just about to head down that hill when someone came up from the other side. I froze. My legs simply stopped moving, as if they had turned into lead. My heart immediately started pounding, and with each heartbeat, a wave of heat spread across my face like a shockwave of a nuclear explosion. Within seconds, my shirt was stuck to my back with sweat. I remembered telling myself to keep calm, to not freak out, to not make a scene. Samantha stopped also, almost crushing her bouquet. At first she looked surprised, but then her expression shifted to that of pain and compassion. She cleared her throat.
Good afternoon, Rachel.
Naomi's mom stopped. The dark red parasword lifted her head off the ground, pulled a strain of her dark golden hair from her face, and looked first at Samantha, and then at me. After measuring me up with her eyes for a few seconds, her lips twisted into a wry grimace, after which she turned her eyes back to Samantha. She looked tired, on the verge of tears. Her hair was disheveled, and her piercing green eyes stared at Samantha with such heated anger that if she could kill with a look, the tiny terror would have killed over a dozen times. I turned my eyes away from her, gripped by sudden remembrance of the day at court. Of the day exactly 1 year ago when I saw her, lamenting the death of her only child. Calm down. Calm. Fuck down. The memories crowded in my head. The mixtures of sounds, faces, voices, places melding together in a deafeningly silent cacophony. There was a single constant in that mess of images and sounds playing in my head over and over like a broken record, namely two faces. Nazar and Naomi, both looking at me. Fuck. God fucking damn it. I whispered something, too quiet even for me to discern. I realized that I'm trembling. I flexed my whole body, stopping it before it got out of control. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Rachel opening her mouth, about to say something. She paused, closed her mouth, turned and walked away. I led her away with my eyes. For the first couple moments, she strode away with her head upright and her back stiff, forcing herself to keep her composure, but very quickly her arms sagged. Tension left her body and she lifted her vacant hand to her face. Just before she turned around the corner and disappeared behind the row of small trees separating the aisles, I faintly heard sobs, carried by the wind. I would grab my mouth to stop myself from cursing myself for not stepping in and diffusing the tension between the two. But since I was holding the bouquets, all I could do was clench my jaw and try not to listen to the faint buzzing in my ears. The moment I blinked, Naomi leapt out at me from the void. You only made her worse. I clenched my fists, crumpling up the paper rolls that wrapped the bouquets in. But doesn't matter. The phantom laugh of my personal demon made my stomach clench. I'm dead.
Anon, dear, come.
I followed Samantha past the tree and down the hill. She was as moved and shaken up as I've been, but she quickly got a hold of herself and put on a mask of neutrality. I attempted to follow her example, but I just couldn't do it. As soon as I laid my eyes upon that gravestone, I missed a step, tripped and almost fell flat on my face, but I managed to regain my balance. How long did we walk? I don't know. To this day, I can't recall. felt like an eternity, but in actuality, it was probably a few minutes at most. The moment I looked at his gravestone will forever be stuck in my memory. Nazar Aaron, 2003 to 2020. May heaven restore your soul in light. I kneeled. Ripley throws the case file on the table. Photo shows Nazar lying on a metal table, chest up, naked. Bullet wounds in his chest. God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Clenched my fists, pressed them in my face, and heaved. My body tensing up when the nausea hit me like a gut punch. Tears. My eyes were wet. Fists were wet. Buzzing. 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 Fuck. Fuck! A hand on my shoulder. It squeezed me hard. I lowered my hands and shook all over, staring at the gravestone with wide open, foggy eyes, taking in the cold, gray marble, the barrier permanently cutting him off from the world of the living. The thoughts, the grief, the sadness and desperation I kept down ever since the day of the shooting, too busy with either my personal dramas or my concern for Lucy to really give in, they welled up. They swelled inside my chest like a tsunami, sweeping away the thoughts of Naomi, of her mom, of everything. With that tsunami, a wave of hot, then of cold crashed through me, choking me back. Nazar, reaching out to me, desperately trying to say something, then slumping against the wall with a soft sigh. Nazar. God, Nazar. Nazar, pulling me up from the wreck of the broken bench on my first day of Volcano High. Nazar, pissed off at the mad shit people were talking about his sister. Nazar and I, sitting on the curb talking about Lucy. Nazar, the hand squeezed harder. I covered my face and started crying, sobbing, weeping. Tears trickled down my cheeks in thick streams. Fucking Niagara Falls of grief, dripping down my chin into the grass below. My breath was catching. My eyes were sore, but weirdly, inside of my mouth was dry like pepper. Oh, God. Oh, my fucking God. I mumbled between sobs. God. God. Oh, God. I'm sorry, Nazar. I mumbled. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I'm so fucking sorry. Samantha shivered. I don't know how much time has passed before I finally put the bouquet onto his grave. Paper was soaked with my tears, and so were the flowers. In my confusion, or out of fear, I put the other bouquet on his grave. I wanted to get out of there. I said something to Samantha. I don't remember what. Way back to the car was a blur. I don't remember a thing from it, nor from the ride home. No matter how much and for how long I strained my poor head afterwards, I could only recall the most vague snippets of it. I remember one thing, though. Samantha getting out of the car and giving me a tight hug. What she said next sticks with me to this day.
He's happy. Seeing you miss him so much, Hannah.
Fuck. I dropped a cigarette with a hiss. Fuck. Burned my finger. God damn it. There's no way I could visit Naomi's grave that day. I would have gone insane the moment I'd laid my eyes on her gravestone. I'm sure of it to this very day. I know I should go. I know it's not right to only visit Nazar, but I simply can't find enough strength in me to go through with it. No matter how much I reproach myself for it. Putting my finger into my mouth, I frown, trying my damnedest to push that day out of my mind. Don't think about this shit now. You're celebrating your daughter's birthday tomorrow. No one likes a party pooper. Think about something else. Something happier. Something which won't make you a sobbing mess. The extended Kazala family took kindly to Amber as soon as they met her at one of the numerous family celebrations held at the Kazala household. It was extremely endearing and a bit worrying to see all the aunts and cousins crowd around my little angel and me as I sat with her in my lap a short time before her first birthday. It was a rather cool day, the whole thing taking place in February. I was sitting in the living room with my little angel in my lap, enduring the onslaught of aunts, uncles, and cousins. Well, she had to endure the brunt of it. There was a lot of pinching of cheeks, a lot of snout booping, a lot of talking and attempting to strike up a conversation with her. I was ignored for the most part, only occasionally having a word of advice, or remonstrance when I wasn't holding Amber right, thrown my way, like a dry bone tossed to a dog. I didn't mind. Alicia leaned over me and smiled widely at Amber. Her usual stern and cold demeanor was nowhere to be seen every single time she saw my daughter, melting away into such a look of warmth that it came to me as a bit of shock the first time I saw it.
¿Quién es una angelita?
The fossil booped Amber's snout.
¿Quién?
Amber giggled, causing the stern Acleops to laugh in delight.
Sí, tú.
She ruffled Amber's face.
Sí, tú.
For a moment there, her look shifted and lingered on me before shifting back to my daughter. For that short, extremely short moment lasting no longer than maybe 2 seconds, there was a mix of such happiness and grief in her eyes that I felt my stomach turn. Luca, the dear and melancholic sort of boy who kept everything close to his chest. Marisa said I reminded Alicia of him. Maybe she imagined him in my place, with her granddaughter sitting on his lap. Aunt, could you take her for a moment? I need to use the bathroom. She looked up at me again.
No.
She cleared her throat and put on her stern mask again.
Oh, yes, of course.
She took Amber from me, and I left the living room. I actually didn't use the bathroom. It was instead a devious plan by yours truly to give that fossil some happiness. Looking over my shoulder as it was entering the hall showed me that it was already bearing fruit. Alicia laughed and talked to Amber, completely different person than who I saw previously. It was quite touching. Even though I didn't want to actually use the bathroom, I didn't even get to it, since as soon as I put my hand on the doorknob, Anna tugged on my sleeve.
¿Qué pasa?
Oh no. ¿Qué pasa?
Anon, Amber is saying her first word,
The young Galacleop exclaimed.
Come on, come on.
First word? Oh, shit! I rushed back into the living room, which was so silent that when I entered, I could hear a pin drop. Everyone's eyes were turned to Amber, who turned her head to me as soon as I had entered. Alicia, still holding my baby girl on her lap, turned to me also. Amber extended her arms towards me, and I went over to took her from Alicia. Out of the corner of my eyes, I could see Rosa and Reed watching the events unfold with unwavering interest. Marisa sat right next to Alicia, both women staring at Amber with great anticipation. Simone stood by the window with his arms crossed, watching intently. I threw them all out of my mind. Move over, Mom, Dad, cousins, aunts, and uncles. Who mattered was my daughter, my baby girl, my little angel. I looked down at her with the widest, warmest smile I was capable of. Mama? Say, Mama, Amber. She opened her mouth and closed it, frowned a little as if she was figuring out something extremely complicated. And then, with a happy face, she exclaimed,
Mierda.
What? The whole room, the whole house was even more silent than a moment ago. A sudden tension fell on it. Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed Reed covering his mouth with his hand, trying his damnedest not to laugh, while Rosa's cheeks burned crimson. Then, as if in response, a shout came from the porch.
Naldita mierda.
It was Moises shouting. Now that I look back at that period, I realized that Marisa often left him in charge of Amber when she was busy around the house, and he had nothing to do at the farm. He didn't want to do it at first, saying that it's a woman's job, but a threatening look from both Marisa and Sofia softened him up on the spot. It softened up his attitude back then, but not his sharp tongue, since Amber obviously picked up a thing or two from him, both back then and these days. Movement in the corner of my eye. Marisa stood up. Her footsteps slowly, menacingly moved towards the hall door. While the rest of the room stayed completely still and silent, I took her seat on the couch, while Amber stared at me with profoundness I would never expect from a baby. A shout shook the whole house.
Moises Lucian Arias Casala, ven aquí!
Oh shit. Quick, panicked footsteps on the porch, then inside the house, then silence. Footsteps moving to the living room.
¿Qué es esto?
Marisa's voice was even sharper.
¿Qué? Mierda!
Amber exclaimed with great satisfaction. She was met with some giggling, majorly from the younger members of the gathering. The older ones tried looking grave and stern, but their confidence was slipping, and I saw some smirks, most of which were masked with a hand or a cough. Moises goggled.
¿Qué demonios?
Marisa pinched his nape with her claws. He wriggled and hissed.
Ay, mamá! Did you teach her that?
Marisa asked him in Spanish.
No!
Moises shook his head as best he could with his nape in Marisa's pinch.
Maybe it was Matthias. Mande?
Matthias piped up.
I don't remember you cursing around the way.
Marisa growled, let go of Moises, and smacked him on the back of the head with an open palm. He yelped and hissed, then looked back at her with a look of great injustice being done to him, but mellowed at the moment he met her look, which, if I'm to be completely honest, puts me in my place to this very day. She doesn't frown or anything. She doesn't even say a word. But as soon as she looks at you that way, you feel a sudden urge to be somewhere else.
Apologize.
Marisa pointed at me. Mom, he doesn't. She cut me off.
Shush! He's teaching her to swear.
Amber, happy and smiling up to that moment, turned serious, then teary-eyed at the sight of such great domestic problems. Her sniffling snapped me out of my stupor, snapped me out of the stupor brought about by the little angel's rich vocabulary and Marisa's harsh treatment of my brother from another mother. The attention of the two concerned and the whole room at that shifted, from the culprit to Amber.
Mama, you're making her cry,
Rosa said. It's not that big of a deal, Mom. You won't do that again, right, Ese? I glanced at him.
I won't, I promise,
Moises said fervently. Something told me that he wouldn't keep his word. From how dubious Marisa's look was when he made that promise, it was obvious that she had serious doubts about it herself. But she didn't say a word to him, only shoot him out of the room. He didn't keep his word. Not for lack of trying. Too bad my stepbro has a serious issue with keeping his sharp tongue in check. Hell, with how much time he spends with her, he probably taught her more swears than she would have learned in a Claw of Duty X-Rocks lobby. Looking back at it, though, that whole situation was absolutely fucking hysterical. The rest of the family shares my opinion. Hell, even Marisa and Sophia eventually came around to see it as such. He may be foul-mouthed, but he's a great uncle. Only yesterday I saw him giving her a piggyback ride around the farm. She asked him if she could help in the harvest, and in response, he put her on his shoulders and went to the orchard with her to see if the avocados were ripe. I twirled my lighter around my fingers, smirking to myself. I could watch these two all day. Lucy will love to hear about it. She's been hungry for any morsel of a story about our daughter and myself, even more so lately.
She's the only thing that keeps me going, Anon, she told me during my last visit. I would have probably hung myself if something happened to her.
She touched my hand and smiled.
Or you.
Lucy, my dear girl. She's been doing much, much better than in that February. She's not a completely different person. There was no grand metamorphosis since then. There was a lot of hard work, a lot of tears, a lot of anger and sorrow, all of which I helped her get through as best I could. But she changed. For the better. Bit by bit, day by day. And even though the family didn't approve of me keeping my ties with her, I didn't care. She needed, and still needs, help. I put the lighter away and leaned back against the bench. Me, Marisa, and Milhouse are the only people who visit her at White Wings. I've crossed paths with him on more than one occasion, almost always in the hospital reception area. He grew a bit taller, but still quite a bit shorter than yours truly. I met him at the mall last week while I was out with Amber. We were doing some shopping for her birthday party. He was with Stacy, who was pushing a stroller. Seeing that made me pause and look at them. Milhouse noticed and gave me a curt nod, so did Stacy. Something tempted me to approach them, and I did. Hey, Milhouse. Hey, Stacy. They both stopped. She gave me a sideways look, then quickly turned back to the stroller. Milhouse looked at me, then at Amber, holding my hand, then back at me. He smirked, making the scar on his jaw stretch in a way that was quite unsettling, but the angry look in his eyes from years prior was gone.
Hey, Anon. He nodded at me. How's it hanging?
He was much taller than 3 years ago, though he still didn't match Stacy's height. She looked at me from above his head. When her eyes rested on Amber, her look mellowed out somewhat. I'm just out shopping. How's the little one?
It's a boy. He's well, thanks.
Amber tugged on my hand. I looked down at her.
Daddy, can I go look?
I glanced over at the pair. Stacy looked at Amber, then, after a moment's consideration, she nodded. Amber let go of my hand and went over to the stroller, then peeked inside.
He's so small,
she exclaimed, looking up at Stacy. Stacy smiled.
You were small too when you were his age. How old are you?
She asked, leaning over with a smile.
I'll be 3 years old in a week,
Amber said. Milhouse, who's been standing next to me, cringed slightly, rubbing a scar.
It's been 3 years already. Raptor, Jesus fucking Christ.
4, I muttered to him. She was born in 2021. His cringe deepened for a second. Then, suddenly, his face relaxed. He looked at me, all seriousness and gravity.
Do you still think about it?
Very often, I said, keeping my eyes on my daughter and Stacy chatting it up. You?
He
looked at Stacy, then smiled to himself.
Well, sometimes. But life goes on, you know.
He patted me on the back.
Be seeing you, Anon.
Amber came back to me, and we went our separate ways. For a while after this meeting, I couldn't stop thinking about these two. Despite all that had happened, they're happy together and have a kid now. They moved on, like most of the people hurt during that day. Most, but not all of them. Like Naomi's dad, Thomas. Fuck. I came across Rachel many times in the graveyard ever since our first run-in that day, when me and Samantha visited Nazar's grave. She never said a word to me, either good or bad, and said, opting giving me a nasty leer, but as the days went by and we ran into each other time and time again, that look softened somewhat. The silent accusation never quite disappearing from it, but over time, the anger cooled off, making space for her indifference. Her husband, though, Thomas, never met him in person since the trial. Only read about him online or watch an occasional news report covering his story. He's been repeatedly throwing himself against the legal system. Over time, the wrinkles left by the tragedy which claimed his daughter's life deepened, while his face gained a perpetual look of resignation and misery. Simone, Moises, and I were watching another news report on him yesterday. At one moment, Simone turned to us. There's a fine line between dedication and obsession. That man has crossed it a long time ago. He nodded at the TV. If anything was to happen to Amber, I'd probably end up like Naomi's old man, but I wisely chose to keep my mouth shut. Something tells me that someone wouldn't approve of it. I get up and head inside the house. As I'm walking upstairs, I hear someone tapping on the door there. My room. It's Probably Moise's, but what could he want at this hour? After getting to the top of the stairs, I turned my head to see my baby girl, frozen in place with her fist on the door of my room. She blinks, then blinks again, then turns and runs to me, her eyes wide open and filled with tears. What's wrong, Amby? I kneel in as she hugs me.
I had a bad dream,
she mumbles. I was never a fan of her sleeping in her own room at such a young age, with this house being so quiet and dark at night. She can't even reach the light switch. What dream? I pick her up. She wraps her tiny arm around my neck while I carry her to her room.
There was a big dog in it, and it chased me.
She stares at me with wide open eyes.
And then I fell over and it jumped, and then I woke up.
And if you were showing her horror clips again, I swear on all that's good and holy, I'll rip your tail off and strangle you with it. It's only a dream, Amby. I push the door open to her room and turn the light on. Can't harm you.
Still scary.
She tears up. I sit her down on her bed, gently pull her arm away and stroke her hair. She clings to me, sniffling softly. God damn it. I stroke her hair for a short while before stopping, which makes her look up at me. I look down at her with a smile. Hey, what do you say I'll play a song for you? She brightens up immediately.
Yes,
she giggles. All right. I pat her head and get up. Get in bed, and I'll be right back, okay? She grabs her stuffed toy, a trilobite she got from Trish for her birthday last year, and slips under the covers. I tuck her in, go to my room to grab my guitar, then return a short time later. She's looking at me so profoundly, so expectantly, that I can't help but chuckle as I sit down on her bed. All right, what song would you like? I strike a soft chord.
The trilobite one.
She looks up at me with a gleam in her eyes. I smirk. One of the songs I composed for her. Trish listened in while I played one time and piped in with the title Trilobite Trill.
It reminds me of those little guys,
she said when I asked her about that title in particular. Amber loved the title. Of course she did. She's obsessed with trilobites, thanks in no small part to Trish. Hell, Trigger even got her an aquarium as an early birthday gift this year. What's inside? Trilobites, of course. It sits on Matthias's desk, where his computer used to be before he went to college.
Dad!
Amber tugs my sleeve.
Play the song!
Oh, right. Focus, Anon. I fiddle with the tuning screws for a moment, strike a chord, then another, and after a bit more tuning, I start to play. Even though Trilobite Trill is a very simple song, it's not boring. At least I think so. Amber and I came up with a story to go along with it. Small Trilobite goes on an adventure, during which she's chased by a fish, a lobster, and an octopus, before going back to his house and swearing to never go adventuring again. Amber claps her hands, giggling as I play, looking at me with eyes full of wonder and admiration, though both of those gradually give way to sleepiness as I play the song over and over, with her finally falling asleep. I sit there for a moment, watching her. My little angel. She'll be up first thing in the morning, ready to cause all sorts of mischief and chaos around the house, especially since it'll be her birthday. I lean in and kiss her forehead. Quedarás bien, Amber, I mutter. I leave the room, quietly shut the door, and head back to my room, thinking about the times where she was too young to speak, but already old enough to appreciate my music artistry. She appreciated it so much, in fact, that on a few occasions I caught her trying to play on my guitar. I smile, recalling her poking the strings with her claw, giggling and clapping at each sound. Like mother, like daughter, I suppose. Trish and Reed proposed gifting her her own guitar, or a ukulele, but I held off until she would be old enough to not hurt herself with the strings. From how mysteriously Reed acted when I told him last week over the phone, though, something tells me Amber will be getting her own instrument sooner rather than later. Well, we'll see about that tomorrow. I rest the guitar against the wall and lie down, thinking about the birthday party tomorrow. Or rather today, looking at my phone's clock. Well, little man, you better get to sleep. I ended up groggy at the most important day of the year. As soon as I close my eyes, I'm awoken by my phone's incessant ringing. For fuck's sake, it's 7 in the morning. Huh. I slept like a rock. Not a single dream. Fuck, I'm hoarse. Hello?
Good morning, Anna. I hope I didn't wake you up.
Sleepiness is gone within a millisecond, blown away like dirt under the power washer. I sit upright, as awake and lucid as if I wasn't just ripped out of deep, restful sleep. Oh no, Miss Murphy, I was just about to get up. How can I help you? There's a brief moment of silence in the receiver, followed by a short, albeit a bit shaky sigh. There's a voice in the background, belonging to Yadikin. Yeah, these two seem to be a couple now. Something they didn't make a big secret out of last time I went for a visit at Murphy household. These two looked quite adorable, like a pair of lovebirds. Samantha's voice stops me from musing about her personal affairs.
Well, she pauses. It's that day, and I thought...
Another pause, longer than previously.
I was wondering if me and the Yadikin could come and... Well, I'd like to...
Her voice falters and she falls silent. I blink. Oh shit. You want to see Amber? She swallows.
Yes.
The widest, the dumbest fucking grin spreads across my face, threatening to split it in half. Okay, calm down. She's hesitating, that much is clear. Don't be overenthusiastic or you'll scare her off and lose this chance. Of course, Miss Murphy, we'll welcome you with open arms. She swallows again and sighs. Clack. She puts the receiver down but missed the phone. Footsteps, followed by her voice becoming muffled. Yadikin picks up. It'll be there in the afternoon, Anon, he tells me. Plenty of time to think up a present, hmm? He laughs. Yeah. We'll see you then. See you, Anon. Samantha, we have to... Click. Beep, beep, beep. This'll certainly be an interesting day.
Dad!
Amber knocks on my door.
Come on, wake up!
Well, old bones, get a move on. It's your daughter's 3rd birthday today. Better not waste any time. I get out of bed, calling out to Amber that I'll be ready in a minute. While I dress up, I hear Marisa behind the door, telling Amber to let me dress in peace, then taking her downstairs. Short time after, I'm ready to start the day. The next couple hours go by in a flurry of activity. Cooking, cleaning up, setting up tables, and such. It's early afternoon before my stepbrothers and I get to take a break. Said break doesn't last too long, though. I get maybe 10 minutes to smoke a cig by my lonesome before Julio's car drives onto the farm grounds. I rush to the bathroom and freshen myself up, nagged on by Sophia all the while. With my face still wet and a fresh change of clothes on my back, I rush downstairs and make it just in time to welcome my oldest uncle. The rest of the family trickle in over the course of the next hour or two. I diligently stand on the porch, welcoming the never-ending procession of uncles, aunts, cousins, spouses, and kids, thinking to myself that it would be mighty fine to get a glass of soda right now. My self-pity is suddenly interrupted by a large, pink raptor crushing me in a hug. Man on, bro. My dude, my compadre and best man. I return the hug, masking my grunt with a chuckle, patting him on the back. Rosa stands on the grass, impatiently twirling the key ring around her finger, looking at me as if I'm about to steal her man from her. She's even tapping her foot on the ground. With a smirk, I pull away from Reed and nod at Rosa. Someone missed you, I mutter to him. Really? Reed glances at her. That's funny. She visited me last month and...
Uncle Reed, is that you?
Reed cuts himself off. I curse under my breath as he nearly shoves me aside. As I fight to regain my balance, I catch a glimpse of Amber running into Reed's arms, who picks her up and spins around with a loud, booming laugh. Hey, Amber, how are you? He ruffles her hair, making her laugh very loudly. 3 years old already. Holy crap, time flies, huh? He sets her down. Señorita Marisa, ¿cómo estás? Spends a minute or two chatting with Marisa. Amber, meanwhile, runs off somewhere, joining the nigh boundless flock of young dinos rushing around the farm like cats on cocaine. Careful, Amber, not so fast, I call it.
No, no te preocupes, papá.
She responds. I snort. I guess there's nothing to worry about. She won't be the first kid in history with bruised knees, and besides, she's extremely agile. I haven't seen her trip over once since she took her first steps 2 years ago. I turn to Marisa. Reed and Rosa have already gone inside, and judging from the laughter and other sounds of merriment, my bro is being the center of attention as usual. He's probably telling them another raunchy story from college. Rosa may look like she doesn't approve, but I've caught her laughing at those stories more than once. Mama, can I talk to you for a moment? Marisa turns her head from Amber to me. She looks a bit worried. She always does when Amber zooms around like that.
Yes, mijo?
She smiles. Miss Samantha and her man will be coming over today.
You told me in the morning, Anon.
She reminds me.
I may be old, but not old enough to forget.
Her smile melts into a wide smirk. I just wanted to make sure that we have plates ready, and I turn back to Amber. Well, this will be her first time she'll see her grandma. I look at Marisa. I wanted to go well, was all.
It will go well, mijo.
Marisa assures me, putting her hand on my shoulder. I nod. Thanks, Mom. She smiles and quickly wipes away a tear with her finger.
And to think that 3 years ago, you were suffering so awfully.
Her voice trembles. She pauses, clears her throat, and stands upright. I look away, my own eyes being a little wet.
But that's all in the past now. Come.
She nods at the door. We will watch over them.
Moises.
Marisa nods at my step-bro. He's sitting under the tree, looking down at the group of Acleops and Ankylosaur kids frolicking around on the grass. There's a young Acleops woman sitting next to him, holding his hand, watching over the kids with him. Little Moises ain't so little anymore. He's a man now, and he found himself a GF. Good for him. Good for him. I was a bit worried that he'd end up kissless and handholdless like yours truly was for most of his life, but nope. He pleasantly surprised us all. Her name's Magdalene. She's quite the Catholic, but no matter how much she remonstrates with him, she can't curb that sharp tongue of his. Even then, they're happy together. Who knows? Maybe they'll raise kids here after Simone and Marisa are gone.
Hey, Anon. Good afternoon, Miss Marisa.
I turned to where the voice came from. It's Trish, with a large box in hand, wrapped up in red packing paper. Hey, little T. She groans and rolls her eyes. What's in the box? I lean over.
Nanya?
Nanya.
None of your goddamn business. She smirks. Where do I put it?
She turns to Marisa.
I'll put it in the living room with the others.
Marisa nods at the door. A few hours later, it's late afternoon. Moises and his girlfriend gathered the kids from the yard and led them back inside, with Amber proudly leading the procession. There, we all had lunch. True feast. After which, we all gathered in the living room, watching Amber unwrapping her presents. Reed hands her a long, rectangular box, wrapped up in shiny blue paper, which she rips open in seconds.
Oh! She opens the box. It's a guitar!
A ukulele. Reed leans over with a grin. For me and Rosa.
Dad, look!
Amber comes over to me. And as I inspect the guitar and strike a chord to test it, the doorbell rings. I glance over at Marisa, then we both look towards the hall. With a quiet apology, I return Amber her ukulele and tell her to open the next present. Gotta welcome the next guest. Sorry. I pat her head as she pouts.
Be back quick.
She sticks her tongue out at me. I will. I grin and ruffle her hair to the delight of the gathered women. I get up from the couch and nimbly maneuver around the adults standing and kids sprawled around the floor. Damn, maybe I should be a circus acrobat. Just as I stop by the door, the doorbell rings again. I take a deep, slow breath to calm myself down. Then Open the door. Samantha pauses with her hand raised. Yedikin stands next to her with a large box in his hands. We look at one another in silence for a moment, after which it's the green Taro who breaks the ice. Hey, Anon. He extends his hand. How are you? I'm good, thanks. How about you? And you, Miss Murphy? I turn to her. Her hand is still raised, and her whole form seemingly frozen in place. Upon hearing her name spoken, she blinks and clears her throat, then quickly lowers her hand and, as if embarrassed, puts it behind her back.
I'm well, dear, thank you.
She nods up to me with a soft smile.
Well, I'm glad to be here, you know?
She lets out a small, nervous laugh. Another moment of awkward silence. Yadikin leans over Samantha and whispers something. She looks straight down and mutters something back. He smiles and pats her back with his wing, which makes her blush slightly and look at him with some reproach, which quickly fades into a loving expression. They both look at me.
Can you call her over?
She asks. With a beating heart, I nod and turn from them. Amber! A small commotion erupts in the living room. Amber shouts an apology in a mixture of Spanish and English, then shoots out of the door and straight towards me. I crouch and open my arms, into which she jumps without hesitation, whistling softly as I lift her up. She puts her arm around my neck and turns to look at Samantha. I look at the tiny Tara.
Daddy, who's that?
Amber points at her. She's staring at Amber, her eyes twice as wide as they were moments before. She lifts her hand up to her mouth and shivers upon hearing her granddaughter's voice. That's Samantha. She's your grandma. She couldn't see you because she was on a faraway trip. Say hello to her. Amber brightens up hearing that and waves at Samantha.
Hello, Grandma Sam.
Samantha blinks, then blinks again. She mutters something, her voice muffled by her palm. She takes a step back, looks at me, then at Amber, then at Yadikin, and finally, she turns around and starts sniffling. Yadikin puts the box down and quickly turns to Samantha, embracing her and muttering calmingly.
Why is she crying?
Amber asks.
Is she sad?
Yadikin looks over his shoulder with a wide, warm smile. She's not sad, Amber. She's just very happy to see you, he explains.
And who are you?
Amber points at him. Well, Yadikin's eyes flash. You can call me Grandpa Yadikin. Amber considers for a moment with a very profound expression, then nods and smiles.
Oh, okay. Hello, Grandpa Edie?
Blech.
Eddie?
He pauses, turning a shade paler. His smile falters, which he masks by turning his face back to Samantha. The two stay like this for a moment, locked in a tight embrace. Many words pass between them, but they whisper so softly that I can't make out anything. Amber gives me a confused look. Give him a mom and Abby, I muttered to her. I'm too happy to see you. As if to confirm what I said, Samantha pulls away from Yadikin and turns to us.
I thought about meeting you for a very long time, Amber,
she says, rubbing her eye. Amber reaches out. Samantha takes her hand, shivers, squeezes it, lets go, shuts her eyes and turns away again. It takes her a moment to compose herself, but when she looks back at us, she's calm.
May I?
She looks at me. Samantha, you have no idea how long I've waited for this moment. Amby, do you want... Fuck, voice crack. Do you want to give Grandma Sam a hug? Amber nods and extends her arms to Samantha, who takes her from me and pulls her close to her chest. I want to look, to take in this moment, the soft, warm smile on Samantha's face. Amber hugging her grandma with a wide, happy smile, but suddenly my eyes get wet and my vision turns all blurry and fuzzy. Damn, I mutter, looking away. What a terrible day for rain. Only after Samantha and Amber start chatting do I look back at them. We all go inside, with Amber turned to Yadikin, who gives her a big, wide smile and nods along to the never-ending stream of trilobite-related trivia. And they live in the sea? He exclaims with a soft laugh. Incredible!
I have some in my room. ¿Quieres verlas, abuelo?
She tilts her head. Yadikin nods, having, I hope, guessed my baby girl's meaning. She gives a little cheer, after which Samantha sets her down, and that little scamp shoots back inside the living room, causing even more commotion than when she was leaving it. Samantha looks at her as she disappears behind the wall. She wipes a tear and lays her head on Yadikin's shoulder. She's adorable, he says. Is she always so lively? Oh, yeah, quite. She can barely sit down for 5 minutes at a time. Elisa's entry into the hall interrupts our conversation. She welcomes both our guests and chastises me for keeping everyone waiting, then ushers all three of us in the living room. The remainder of the afternoon flies by like a pleasant dream. By the time evening rolls around, the only guests left are Samantha and Yadikin. Amber, tired after a whole day of frolicking around, sleeps on the couch with her head resting on Samantha's skirts. The tiny Taro strokes her hair, looking down at her with such boundless love and affection that I can't help but stop and look at them as I gather the plates for cleaning. Yadikin is helping us in the kitchen, entertaining us all the while with a plethora of tales from work. And there's a new kid in school, Inko. He turns to me. A human, like you. Another human, huh? Guess we are rare enough to warrant a mention. What did he do? Oh, he did a lot. Mainly he helped Olivia. Remember, I told you about Olivia. Olivia. The wheelchair-bound gator. She's not actually a gator, but a baryonyx, which I found out the hard way one day shortly before the group therapy session. Good thing little T was near, or I'd end up without a hand. Or an arm. Who knew a cripple could throw hands so well? But Mr. Yadikin Esquire does not need to know about this little bump on the way to friendship between me and his favorite pupil. The one who burned down a classroom. Ha. Yes, one and the same. Yadikin finger guns me. Well, Inko helped Olivia. You know she was always a recluse, and mainly kept to herself, and he smiles to himself. Well, he's helping her open up to others, with a bit of help from yours truly. He puts his hand on his chest with a sly smile. And Sam's. He nods at the door to the living room. I nod, taking the clean dishes out of the dishwasher and wiping them with a cloth. Rosa then puts them in the corresponding cupboards, while Yadikin loads the now empty dishwasher. How's that going for him? For that Inko guy. I look over my shoulder at him. His heart is in the right place, but there was some... How should I put it? Yadikin pauses with a plate in his hand. Misplaced enthusiasm in the beginning. His expression sours a bit, but relaxes almost immediately. Luckily, Sam and I put him on the right path. He chuckles, grabbing another plate. I nod, handing another plate to Rosa. We work quietly for a couple minutes, and then, after the dishwasher's loaded, we sit down by the kitchen table to drink some tea. Whew, holy shit. I look inside the cup. What a day, huh? Yes, it was quite a rush. Rosa takes a gulp of her leaf juice. She turns to Yadikin. Mr. Yadikin, can I ask you something? The Taro pauses with the cup at his mouth, sets it down and nods. Of course. Well, it's a bit of a personal question, so I'm not sure if... The Taro lifts his hand, slowly shaking his head with a reassuring smile. Rosa pauses. You're a good friend of Samantha's, Rosa. She told me all about you. Whatever that question is, I'm sure it's nothing but considerate. Rosa blushes slightly with a bit of an awkward smile, nods, clears her throat and speaks up. Do you two want to have children? Fucking what? I suddenly find myself with my lungs full of tea. I hack and cough, wheeze and choke, beating myself on the chest with one hand while holding my windpipe with the other. Yadikin comes to my rescue, repeatedly smacking me on the back with an open hand, which helps me in not ending my life in such an unexpected manner. Fuck me, he's strong. Each hit almost throws me off the chair. Is everything alright over there? Samantha calls out softly. Yes, Sam, don't worry, my savior replies. Fuck. I wheeze and hack a few times, then take a breath before I'm able to speak. Rosie, you can't just go around and ask questions like that. No, it's fine. Anakin lifts his hand again. As to you, Rosa, we're too old to be thinking about such things. He chuckles. Besides, we already have a beautiful granddaughter. What else would we want? Rosa shrugs, then looks away. I was just wondering. You two make a great couple. I was curious. We may be a great couple, but not as great as you and Reed, the Terror chuckles. No. Don't worry, I won't ask about kids. I don't think Rosa would mind such a question, but I wisely keep my mouth shut. Don't want to invoke the almighty slipper. Are you done here? We all turn to see Marisa standing in the doorway with her arms crossed. See, Mama, Rosa replies. We'll be done soon. Marisa nods. Anon, put Amber to bed, please. I get up. On it. As soon as I leave the kitchen, I hear Marisa taking my seat. Samantha looks up and, seeing me, brightens up. How is she? I ask, crouching next to her. She's like a little angel. Samantha smiles warmly. Oh, God, was I ever so stubborn? Tears glimmer in her eyes. I reach out and take her hand. She shivers, her eyes shut, glistening. Don't say that, Miss Murphy. I shake my head. You needed time to think things over. It's fine. I pat her hand. Let's get her to bed. She looks at me, then at Amber. With a shaky sigh, she nods. I delicately grab Amber and lift her up. She mumbles sleepily and turns, pressing her face into my shoulder. She doesn't wake up until we are on the stairs. There, she yawns and blinks, then opens her eyes and looks me in the face with a sleepy look. Where are we going? She asks. Where's Grandma? I'm here, dear, she chimes in. You're going to bed. Oh. Amber rubs her eyes. Okay. She looks at me. I get up the last step and turn towards the room. Samantha opens the door. I go in and put Amber on the bed. As I tuck her in, she looks at me, tilts her head and frowns a little. Daddy? Yes, Amby? Where's Mommy? You only showed me pictures, but you don't talk about her. I freeze. I can't move. I can't speak. I can't do anything. For a couple of seconds, my brain is in lockdown mode. Hearing Samantha taking a quick, sharp breath snaps me out of the stupor. Boots clicking on the floor. She turned around. She's muttering to herself, too quiet for me to understand a word. Amber stares at me expectantly, still frowning, quietly demanding an answer. Mommy's sick, Amby. She can't visit us yet, but she wants you to know that she misses you. She misses you very much. Very, very much. Samantha curses softly behind me. Amber leans out of bed to look at her. Grandma? The tiny Taro falls silent. Yes, dear. Are you crying? Long pause. A bit. I'm just sad about your mom. I don't know if there's more anger or sadness in that statement. Honestly, I don't care. I ruffle Amber's hair and smile softly at her as she squeaks and squirms to get away. I'll tell you more about her when you're older, Amber. I promise. She looks at me for a moment, then nods. Okay. Good night, Daddy. I lean in and kiss her forehead. Good night, Amby. Samantha leans in from behind me. Her hair is tickling my head. Good night, dear. Sleep well. Good night, Grandma. We leave the room quietly. Samantha rubs her eyes, shaking her head with a sigh. She looks up at me. How is she? Lucy? She nods. She's doing much better. Still not fine, but She's slowly getting there. She nods again, turns and starts down the corridor. I follow her, the silence between us broken up only by her heels clicking on the floor. Just before we reach the stairs, she stops and puts her hand on the wall, then looks up at me over her shoulder. She pauses, crumpling her skirts in her fist.
I'm glad to hear that.
She quickly turns her head back and goes down the stairs in a great hurry. I don't follow. Instead, I stay where I am, thinking about what she just said. Is she really happy about things improving for Lucy? Or is it some sort of guilt stemming from having abandoned her only child? When you think about it, she had all the right in the world to throw Lucy out of her life, but still, a decision like that would mess with most people, no matter if it was justified or not. God damn it. Thinking about Stella again. Fuck. I go downstairs, just in time to see Samantha and Yadikin off. I shake hands with him and exchange hugs with her, assuring them both that they can visit any time they want. The tears in Samantha's eyes and the tightness of her hug after I tell her that say more than a million words could.
Can she visit us at my house?
She asks me. Of course. Her house was never again reverted to the sorry state I saw it 4 years ago. She diligently keeps it neat and tidy, with some help from me, Rosa, and Yadikin. As his bedroom still being off-limits to anyone is a bit worrying, but she stopped barking at anyone mentioning it.
Thank you, Hannah, dear.
She squeezes my hand. She then looks at Marisa and Simone standing beside me and gives them both a nod, along with a wide, warm smile.
Thank you for allowing us to be a part of this.
She swallows with a soft shiver.
This wonderful, special day.
She blinks rapidly.
God bless you. Good night.
They leave, with Simone going with them. I watch them through the porch window as she guides them to the car through the dark backyard. After they arrive, they stand in the dark for a moment, talking. Samantha shakes hands with him, and so does Yadikin. He opens the gate for them, and then they're gone.
She loves her.
I look at Marisa. There's a soft smile on her face. Yeah, she does. She only needed time to realize it. And there you go. There's your chapter for the night, fellers. Ugh. Should have eaten that mistake without the breath. Yeah. Still need to get better about that sometimes. Yadikin survived the timelines crossing. He certainly did. He's still strong. If the other wanted Sam to suffer, the window's cracked. But I doubt he's that evil. Yeah, no, they explicitly said that he has strong... Like, when he was patting Anna on the back, he was strong. It's supposed to conflict with the weakness he had in Wani. So, obviously... You see, it's pivotal that fucking Lucy shoots up the school in order for Yadikin to survive. Absolutely critical. Kids say the darndest things. That was really nice and wholesome. I'm scared of whatever is going to happen. You want me to be completely honest? I feel like we're basically in the end game now, right? We're just wrapping up our loose ends. What do we have to do? I feel like we're going to talk to Stella at some point and squash that beef. Or at least try to. We're gonna have Lucy coming out of prisone, or not prison, but the mental. I think that'll probably be the last chapter. Our sweet girl coming out of the mental institution and them joining together in a big embrace, and that's the end. Things aren't going to be perfect, but they're going to be way better than, well, what E1 actually is, you know? E4 with a lot of trauma and a lot of extra steps, essentially. But yeah, those are the two big plot points I see that are going to need to still be wrapped up. Other than that, maybe Samantha reconciling with Lucy might be something that gets touched on. Because I feel like, given that she's now accepting of her granddaughter, it might start pushing her to be willing to talk to Lucy. Who's to say? 6 children for one middle-aged man. Chet Attican. The blood tax. Not just any middle-aged man, the middle-aged man. If Inko Noted could go from E1 to E4, I'm sure Anna can do the same. I mean, they're going that direction. They've already got Amber. So, I'm trying to think, is there any other big plot points other than those ones that we're still kind of open on? Because I'm trying to think. We still have 4 chapters to go. And taking a look at it, let's see here. This is a long one. 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 This is another, like, fucking probably 2-hour grinder. So, I'm trying to think what are we filling this with? Because I don't think it's just going to be, like, fluff. You know what I mean? Sage and the Puppet Gals. Is there anything to resolve with Sage? I guess an interaction with Sage is in the cards. But there's not really much to do there. I feel like it would be... If it was going to be Sage, it would be Sage and Rosemary. You know what I mean? Both of those characters at the same time talking. Because I think Rosemary still needs to keep Sage in check. And then the Puppet Gals... I would love to see... Anon check on Wendy at some point and be like, "Hey, it's good to see that you're doing good." Since they were mental ward buds. Lucy shot the student who was going to invent cancer. I feel like something with Naomi's dad, maybe. Maybe. I could see it, but I don't know what it would be. The dude is way too, like, gone at this point to really have any resolution other than, like, just seeing each other, I guess. I feel like there's been light peppering on him doing legal stuff in the background. Wouldn't it be a fucking heel turn if, like, that all actually pans out and then they end up getting Lucy the death sentence? Wouldn't that be fucked up? Hey, guys, can you imagine that? They overturn it and say, you're right, Lucy, die now. Sex scene. No more sex scene. I'm chomping at the bit. Put out of hospice. Or out of the hospice, not put out of the hospice. Yeah. Oh, man. It feels weird coming to a close. You guys remember? It's fucking weird to say that we've been at this for 30 goddamn chapters. You know what I mean? We have been here a while. But yeah. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Sorry. Amber trains the trilobites to take over Volcadera. That's like the equivalent of like a Silent Hill like fucking dog ending, you know what I mean? We're not going to be reading another chapter tonight. I'm hungry. 2, this is going to be like an hour and a half at least, so we'd be looking at like a solid 4-hour stream. And I think I'm good since we had a stream yesterday as well, since we needed to do the wax part 2. And I kind of want to just take it easy tonight. Can't wait to get making smut about Samantha and Attican fucking like wild animals. Probably not going to see that. You can be the change you want though. Afterward, when you finished and get the author on the spotlight, what would you say? You hurt people in their emotions and you hurt me on my voice. That's what I would say. Karma Chicken Baby, if you hear this right now, you a motherfucker. Goddamn. How could you do this to me? I'm looking something up real quick. Yeah, I wanted to check it. The Lord of the Rings trilogy word count is 480,000 words. And currently, we are at 417,000. I honestly would not be surprised if this motherfucker decides to eclipse it. In fact, the Attican is still alive. Wonder how much that could change Olivia and Nico Z4. Bigly. Massively, even. Can't wait to put this in the Discord. You made him learn Spanish. I didn't learn shit! By the way, Humo, your Spanish pronunciation is still wanting, my dude. Puts my hand on your shoulder. I know, dog. I know every fucking Spanish-speaking viewer cringes every time they see it come up. And they're like, oh god, he's about to butcher our language. You gotta understand, though, I butcher my own fucking language. It's rough out here, okay? It's fucking rough. But yeah. Next stream will be on Wednesday, because I believe tomorrow I do have my watch night with my buds, and that's going to be a good time for me. Let's take a look at the calendar, shall we? Yeah, there's nothing planned on my behalf. We have the stream, which will be a video game of some sort, probably, or a yap or something, you know, bozo night as it usually is. That said, also, tomorrow, starting at 10 p.m. and running to 1 a.m. EST, we'll have, I believe this is Iggy hosting the second half of Beastar Season 2, and that'll also be running into Wednesday. So, if you're interested in watching that, by all means, join up in the Discord. We have a good time there. If you aren't in the Discord already, I don't know what else to tell you. Go join it. It's cool. Shrugs my shoulders. And yeah, that's what we're looking at. So, anybody who's in chat, be you lurking or otherwise, I hope you had a good time chilling out for a nice little chill read tonight. It's not a fucking 4-hour stream like the last one, but, you know, what are you gonna do? Have a good rest of your day, night, evening. Whatever time it is for you. I'll catch you on Wednesday when I do something. Bye-bye. Bye. Say bye. Say bye. Bye. Bye-bye.